mind keep calling me name. Two hearts intertwined, no matter the weather. True love got power when we choose stay together. Grabbing the keys, but me soul scream wait. You they coming on me chaos, the reason me stay. Memories flooding, dancing in the red. Late nights laughing, the resin of the bed. Your beauty, your fire, the way we align. Real love like this.
When I walk away this time, stay together.
Soul tied forever.
Soul tied forever. Kundalini of love. I'll bet you any amount of money. When I come back to you, I love no doubt about it.
Lights are come on in there.
Kundalini of love.
Coming on, coming on.
Kundalini of love.
Coming on. Lights are come on in there.
Kundalini of love.
Though this time I break under in the air. Love with firm foundation. Never gonna fall. No.
Stay together.
Memories.
Memories bind us. Kundalini of love. Kundalini of love. I'll bet you any amount of money. Come back to you. I know no doubt about it.
Lights are come on.
Kundalini of love.
Kundalini of love.
Kundalini of love.
Coming on. Lights are come on.
All right, namaste and lak'ech, my family, and welcome to another Team Light Interviews. I am here with my guest, fellow rock star, Mrs. IndigoAngel. How you doing, Indigo?
I'm doing so good. That was an awesome intro. I'm loving that song. I'm really vibing with it.
Yo, you're from Florida. I like that tropical vibe. Funny enough, the last 2 days I've been working on this song. It's taking all of my energy to finish it, and I don't know. I don't want to tip my hat off too much. I like the simpler tracks, but I'm finding, making music, it's just a lot of fun. And I enjoy it, and I like putting positive messages in the music. I like using positive frequencies, so it's a lot of fun.
Are
But-
you doing all the vocals in your songs? Is that you?
So in the new Suno, people ask me this. In the new Suno 5.5 version, what you do is you can sing into a microphone, and it takes a sample of your voice, and then they do like a voice codecs thing. So I did save my voice. It's really funny because I sound like a soulful man. Let's just say I'm like, let me tell you, like, okay, when you're playing with the vocal ranges, I can go a lot higher. Obviously, I don't know. Listen, for all you guys that have played around making music, it's a lot of fun. I'm just going to stop right there. But I am going to say that once you have an ear for it, almost all the channels I listen to on Pandora or Spotify, anything Rufus Del Sol or some of these other bands I listen to all the time, I can hear the inflection of when it switches in between, the different types of music. So you really kind of start getting your ear. And again, I started making music because I kept getting shadow banned because I played 80s music behind my videos. So I didn't like that, especially, we're trying to wake up the entire planet, not just the United States.
That's right.
So,
International.
yeah, I'm here for the whole planet. I'm not just here for any particular country. I'm here for the whole planet, and I'm here. Team Light is here for you guys across the earth. So we're all here together. And that's why I started making music and obviously make my own trailers. So now I can DJ Starlord is my DJ name. Now I'm going to be making some sick tracks for us to dance at Rise of the Guardians. And I also like it too because if you guys ever played music on Instagram, Facebook, or whatnot, they always block you. You play 2 minutes and they'll shut your channel down because you don't own the copyright. Now with me, I own all the music. You can't shut me down. We can play an hour and a half of music and just have a great time together. So it's a new thing, and I really do enjoy it. But we kind of called this team huddle, one, to introduce IndigoAngel to the whole Team Light family. I know you guys have seen other broadcasts we've done. But two, I saw a couple of her posts about some of the new information coming out with Matt Gaetz. Is that how you spell his name? Matt Gaetz, and some of the guys that in the Senate and Congress that are talking about the human hybrid program at at a government level that they are being briefed on this stuff. And I thought for a lot of us starseeds out there, I think there's a lot of correlations with being hybrids, and not only in the ET sense, but also on Earth. I mean, humans on this planet are very mixed. I'm very mixed. I'm Native American, I'm French, I'm German, and about 20 other things, right?
Native Americans are highly
Yeah.
segregated under forced breeder programs, and so we're the,
Yeah, I got a little Czech and Polish in there too, so you just calm down, a little Scottish too.
okay.
For all you guys out there at the Isle of Mull, okay, out there in Iona, don't think I don't see you out there. And Richard out there in Ireland, I'm also Irish, okay? Yeah, no, I'm like a full-blown hybrid. Me, even in the human suit, my DNA is like basically the whole planet. So it's very interesting that a lot of us in this human hybrid topic, I wanted to kind of ask you about it. I know you did a couple of videos about it. Why don't you explain the new information that has just come out, that has reached on the government level, certain governors and senators being briefed on the human hybrid program?
Yeah. Well, when I first seen that come out and that disclosure was being released, I was so triggered. I absolutely got triggered because I've been talking about forced breeder programs forever on my channel. And I feel like I've been, out on a desert island, just kind of screaming this information out. And a lot of times, not too many calls come back. Like, I see you, it's the information is just, I think sometimes it has us kind of glazed over, people kind of looking a little dull in the headlight and just like, I don't know how to entirely relate to this information. So what has come out recently and what's cracking through the mainstream veil is it's the former U.S. Congressman Matt Gaetz and the Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. They're the ones that I guess had a secret meeting with a senior enlisted U.S. Army whistleblower that I'm thinking that they came over from the Eglin Air Force Base, and I think that's important and that's relative because, like I said earlier, the cookie doesn't fall too far from where things are going down. And so, these forced breeder programs might be at the Eglin Air Force Base. So they're saying that there's 6 to 12 locations where they're actually mixing alien DNA with human DNA and trying to create a super being essentially that has the ability to communicate galactically and on an interstellar level and bring information in. Nothing was disclosed to the degree of how far these hybrid programs are going in the US. But being someone who's actually ran through forced breeder programs, and I've had experience with this basically my whole life, and just the recollection of the memories that have been slowly being returned to me from this, I can see that this is something that's been going on for a very, very long time. And just because this is coming forward now, this really isn't, we're just starting to get the disclosure. I think this disclosure is going to continue to unfold all through 2026 and through 2027. That's going to be the height of where we're really getting more intel and more disclosure on mass levels, where it's mass awakening. But essentially, I think this goes back to the beginning of our ancient human origins, our beginning. And they've been, genetically modifying us, as we know, the ancient Draconian, Anunnaki, Sumerian hybridization programs. That really is what the Stargate control warfare is over. At the end of the day, it's over forced breeder programs and encampments that are around and governing the consciousness of the societies that live around the Stargate locations. So it's very extensive, and it's just shocking that it's coming forward the way it is now in the US on a governmental level, where you have these officials speaking about these things, like actual sitting members of Congress coming forward going, oh yeah, we have functional operating forced breeder programs. By the way, we're mixing human DNA with alien DNA. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, this is absolutely nuts. But I feel like it brings legitimacy to what I've been saying and what many of us who have had this intel have been saying all along. So it's reassuring.
No, definitely. So my main thing is that what I'm seeing is that as you were talking, that's why I wanted to do this video. So, okay, you know how they basically say that certain bloodlines rule the planet, and the certain bloodlines have access to the world's resources or whatnot, basically through their DNA and through their blood, right? So what I'm getting to, there's 3 main bullet points I'll pop in. to me. For one, if we are going to get contact in the next 900 days, which human beings with the specific energy signature are going to be able to communicate with said, beings coming to visit or coming back? Number one. Number two, ownership of the planet based upon some sort of galactic alliance or paperwork trail. Every single time I've asked, why is some of this lower dimensional rhetoric allowed on the surface, it always goes back to some sort of paperwork, galactic, a lot, it's almost like a contract or an agreement from the top down. You know what I'm saying? So why they allow certain species to do certain things, right? So what I'm getting to with this hybrid program is the first question I'm going to have to ask is, what species are they splicing human DNA with? That'd be my first one. Don't tell me you're splicing grays and tall whites into human suits. Number one. We don't need anything from the dark sector of the Orion Empire representing anything on this planet. Number one.
I definitely agree with that, but we do know that.
I absolutely. I have to say that out loud publicly. Absolutely not. Do we want any sort of control system on this planet by species that never had humans' best interest in mind? So I just have to say that out loud.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's important you say that. It's like you're taking a stance or reviewing bad intelligence here. But it's kind of like, we do know that there are multiple factions that are involved with the U.S. military and the U.S. government. I mean, there's been lots of people on a credible level that have been coming out and saying, that they've met the tall whites in the government and that they know for a fact they're working with them. And a lot of this extraterrestrial activity that we see when it comes to the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, all these things, I think the Greys are organizing a lot of this because this is how they loosh off of the collective and how they loosh off of these, and things like this. So, no, I can't confirm, specifically what.
I'm just saying it in my gut. I feel it. I'm like, absolutely not. These beings or whatever these hybrid programs are, please, by the power of Grayskull and anything holy, do not have 20-year-olds that are half human and half synthetic gray or tall white step and represent the human beings on this planet. It is a direct violation of everything sovereign and all of the organic Azurite souls who incarnated and did it for real, actually had the longevity to grow up on this planet in this lower dimensions and earn their seat at their own tables in their own streams and with their own higher selves and strengthening their connection to their soul, their source. Absolutely not would I ever allow a group of 235 20-year-olds in blue jumpsuits to communicate with ETs that were never part of our normal group or our collective consciousness to speak on our behalf. And I have to say that because some of you guys, you don't realize what they're doing. They're going to say in the military industrial complex, hi, we're human. This is what we want. This is what we think. And ETs showing up are going to go, okay, well, that's what they want. And that's how they think. And I guess they're okay with this when they have nothing to do with the truth about what we've gone through on the surface, the biological attack on every single human being on the planet, Earth, the earth, the sky, the water, the food, all of this stuff. I just have to say that for for everyone and represent you guys in the best way we can, because from here to South Africa and Asia, everyone watching live, I just want you guys to know that there are beautiful, good beings, okay, that have the right integrity, this Earth Alliance group.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I just don't want to get that mixed with the weird motivations of beings that got a 120-year head start that have been interacting with ETs for quite some time, that are two, three, maybe 1,000 years into the future technologically, and we're going to allow these beings to speak on our behalf. It's a direct violation of our free will. And I have to say that to you guys. You have to know that, because if there's decisions made upon interacting with certain species on this planet, which species are you guys going to back? What if we get into an interaction and for whatever reason that negotiation takes place and the beings that are actually here to help us, let's just say the Andromedans, the Lyrans, the Arcturians, the Palladians, we have the wrong species or hybrids representing us that are all about the dark side. So go ahead.
Disclosure is so important is because those of us who understand how long this has been going on the planet, who understand how, this is all embedded in the systems, that we do try to bring more disclosure about this and bring more awareness, so that way we can shut these forced breeder facilities down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. 6 to 12 facilities in the United States. That's absolutely insane. And when you look at how the system is built, and you look at the medical system, like we just said, the education system, things like Planned Parenthood, things like birthing facilities. There's 400 birthing facilities in the nation. And, you know, are they funneling? They're finding their victims through these systems and funneling them into these military programs. I mean, so I think that the dimensional spectrum of the type of victims who are actually corralled into these things, that it's coming from a vast spectrum. But yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is to restore the human angelic DNA, the human angelic genome. And that's what the Guardian Alliance is here
The
doing.
blueprint. And here's the thing. Yes. Aren't we all half hybrid project? Yes, absolutely we are. And I'm glad you brought that up. Absolutely. We are hybrids. And here's the deal. Our great grandfathers and grandmothers survived many traumatic acts on the surface of this world for you to earn the suit that you are wearing right now. And I absolutely agree with you. In true hybridization on the surface of this world, we have earned that. What I have an issue with is someone that doesn't have the same soul memory as you do, wearing your mom or your dad's suit, wearing your bloodline, wearing your memories around you in a physical vessel, that has not earned the right to speak on your behalf based upon representing your soul, your species, and your planet. That's what I'm talking about. Not someone that looks like you that's wearing a human suit. What's the other humans in this sector that are also known as Terrans from Alpha Centauri, right? They have Terrans there as well. They're called Terrans, just like we are called Terrans. Look human. They look just like us. But there's just something there I wanted to state, because I think there's a lot of movement happening right now. I don't know. Give me a thumbs up out there, ladies and gents, if you guys are feeling tired for no reason. If you guys are you're actually going through waves of consciousness. Last night, I was seeing all kinds of stuff. We were helping and saving a lot of people across the planet. But this is just something with this human hybrid program. I think they've been doing this for quite some time. And I know Indigo, before this broadcast, we already talked about it. The GATE program. Remember that when, you know, in middle school, it was called GATE in Manhattan Beach, California. It was in like middle school. It could be elementary school, middle school. But basically, you guys remember the hearing tests that they had kids do? And only a handful of us could hear the ultrasonic on the sound on the test. That wasn't a hearing test. Some of us can actually hear ultrasonic. For example, you know those little mosquito machines or the deer machines, whatever. I have a neighbor that has these machines that they put up high frequency so that the animals don't eat her bushes, eat her fruit trees. She put that thing on. My whole right side of my face started throbbing. I was like, you have to turn it off. I don't care what they tell you on Amazon. I can hear that frequency all day. Some of us are actually more tuned to be aware of higher frequencies, and we're attuned to that because we use those skill sets. So they're very aware. And the people that tested us back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and probably to this day, honestly, there's still the GATE program still exists in Southern California and wherever you may be across the earth. But it's basically testing, is this human being have some of that dormant DNA on? Is this human being operating at a higher frequency level, even though they're not aware of it? So if you guys have gone through, something similar to that, please feel free to put it in the comments or give me a thumbs up. But it was very common where I came from. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the testing that they're doing in schools, they are looking for particular things, and this is how people do get pulled for these types of particular programs, or pulled in to be trained for super soldier or whatever it is. But I really think that it's about reclaiming the human angelic DNA overall. I think that people that are connected to this, they're connected to the Emerald Order, they're connected to the covenants that uphold all of the sovereign law. The Guardian Alliance is a vibrational thing. So it's like you can't even enter into the alliance unless you are at a vibrational match within the divine governance, that you carry the cosmic sovereign laws within you. Planetary liberation.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. But I mean, this structure is still being upheld, and this is really going to continue, I think, to cleanse the stargates and the planet of all of these negative programs. As authorship gets transferred in some of these gate systems, we have a lot of stargate rehabilitation and reclamation to do on this planet, particularly at the most corrupted sites, SS10, places like this, where they're governed by the descent of these degradational negative ET programs and, the transhumanist agendas, all of these things. So it's, we have to reclaim our history. We have to reclaim our heritage. Yes, many of us are hybrid humans. We're mixed with many different star races that are a part of this alliance. But at the same time, it is pretty concerning to think that, our genetics have been spliced and hijacked going all the way back to the original Stargate Wars.
Well, I said this on my thing. Do you know what, in chromosome 2 was the chromosome that was affected and snipped that they can see on camera on a human DNA and a double helix. But I said it in my past videos. I don't know if you know this, but do you know what chromosome 2 controls?
No.
Strength and longevity. Chromosome 2, the one they snipped that you can see on the double helix where it was modded, the two things it's responsible for is number 1, strength, and the second thing is longevity. So if you don't think that was a purposeful snip on chromosome 2, you're absolutely high. I'm just trying to say that with all this stuff coming out, there's something going on in our collective, and there's something going on inside of each and every one of you guys out there. There's a knowingness and an awakening and a speed that's accelerating, and our human bodies are having a hard time keeping up. What I can say is that I feel the speed picking up, but I also feel like we're kind of all in this, let's just call it a very large cruise ship together, and we're going up and over these huge waves of energy.
Sunfire says the telomeres. Yeah, they did something to modify the telomeres, and the DNA that has to do with longevity and.
It's chromosome number 2. If you guys have your own little, ChatGPT or Grok, go ahead and ask what chromosome 2 controls. It'll tell you right there. It's strength and longevity. So we kind of had some fun, and I went through a deep dive with some of this information and was, channeling it and actually asking questions. But you'd be surprised that a lot of the answers and a lot of the things that we are seeking answers for, a lot of the stuff's readily available to you. Now, obviously, use everything with 100,000% discernment. But my thing is that I keep having this feeling that we are being visited dimensionally, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Yeah. I just kept thinking that, to myself, I find it very interesting that in the Vedics, 7,000-year-old text, they got Vimyanas, they got flying machines, they got 15, 20-foot beings that are blue with 4 fingers. And everyone on this planet, I mean, over in India, for some reason, they just call them deities. I'm like, no, they're 15-foot Syrian beings that you guys worshipped, right? And we have similar, different species that were in Babylon, Egypt. And we also have similar species that were over here in the true land of Chem, which is in the United States. And there's just something here where I feel like we're about to get, a knock at the door, and we got to get some of our friends and family up to asking more critical thinking about who we are, what we're doing here, and what we want, and how we wish our free will to be utilized. Or we're going to have some sort of weird 3-letter agency or military industrial complex make that decision for us. And I'm here and I'm being recorded for all time with all you guys in the comments and IndigoAngel right now in the present moment saying, these beings do not have my free will to do whatever they want. These beings do not have my permission to violate my free will. The family's free will do not have divine right to tell this population to do anything or manipulate them into a situation that it does not serve their highest timeline and best interest. And I think a lot of us are going to need to start stepping up and do more of like, I don't know if you want to call it a political position, but the time of going to college and learning all this stuff, like I call Sedona college, right? And waking up's like college, right? You first wake up's like going to high school, middle school, high school. Who am I? Eventually get into college, you find what you're really into. You can be a healer, light warrior, you're a gritter, you're an alchemist. You kind of make your way through that. And when you get ready to graduate this place, for me, it's about 16, 17 years later in the present moment. You kind of have to ask yourself, why would you train so hard? What is going to happen? What has happened in the past? What happened in 1713? What are these great resets? Who shows up? And I'm just trying to break this thing down and give you guys a heads up that's not coming from a mainstream narrative that has a negative manipulation or polarity on the information. And I know, Indigo, you do a great job at that too. We're always trying to dig for, hey, what's going on right now? Why is this relevant? So how do you feel about some of the things that are going on in the planet and some of the things that you think people should be paying attention to, not only with their ascension, but maybe some questions they should be asking themselves?
Some questions they should be asking themselves.
Like if you were going to meet someone who's like, you're a human being, welcome to Earth, like here are some basic things you need to know. You should at least be asking these types of questions if you are awake. How does that sound? What are some of the questions that they should be asking themselves?
That's a good question. Well, what is my purpose? And who am I? You know, discovering your true divine origin and your true divine identity, your galactic identity. I think that this is probably the most important thing to find, because this is your quantum essence. This is truly your galactic Templar within you that is connected to your Christian reclamation protocols within your existence. And so for all those things to align, you really have to know who you are. You have to know what your soul purpose is on this earth, and you have to constantly seek purification, constantly seek the highest timeline, and constantly seek the joy and innocence and magic within yourself so you can create those things. I mean, it's really about the inner work that you're doing with yourself at the end of the day, and building those levels of mastery so that way you can step into higher roles, teacher roles, stewardship roles, and healer roles, or grid worker roles, you know, whatever it is that you can assist the collective evolution, because this is what it's all about. It's about us serving the law of one, and it's about us serving the planetary restoration. And we are ushering in the new Earth timeline. So we have to keep our vessels very clean, and we have to keep ourselves aligned to who it is we know that we are within ourselves. We have to remember that. That's such an important thing. And you can't really function from a place of not knowing. So I would say the question you should be asking is, who am I? What's my purpose? And how do I get there? And be willing to surrender whatever notions you have to allow the divine to flow through you to achieve it.
Hey, dude, that's what's up. So this is really the conversations us in the collective should be having right now. Like, you have your higher self or ET show up and go, yo, who are you? And you're like, I'm Tommy. I'm Bobby, and I went to middle school, and that's my Camry outside. Like, no, who are you really? What are you doing here? Do you remember who you are?
Well, I think this is why these things came up, though, why the Force Breeder programs comes up, because I feel like it's part of my soul mission to fight against these things. Just like you got riled up and triggered. When I first seen this, I was riled up and triggered. You can go to my Facebook and look at it. Like, I was like, crash out. So it's because I don't consent to this. I think we should be actively trying to figure out where these things are and protesting. What do we got to do? Get these things shut down.
Yep. Yeah, not to mention the manipulation that's happening in these proxy wars on the surface. What are they really fighting over? If they told the population what it really was, would it be a situation? As soon as this whole thing started happening in the Middle East, you know, same thing with the Iraqi war, right? In 2001, what the first thing they hit was the Iraqi museum. They stole the body of Gilgamesh. And what was the next thing they hit? They hit the museum they were building and stole all the tablets out of it. That was one of the things that another guy was trying to do. Gaddafi was trying to release that, build a museum to tell everyone on Earth their true history, the Sumerian texts. This whole cover-up and that's been going on, especially with the Smithsonian, especially with some of the real information. Here's my thing about these governments that they need to pay attention to. And these these dark hat jackasses. So here's something that you're going to have to really pay attention to with the population. If when certain upper dimensional, let's just say our older brothers and sisters show up, and they actually take a real deep dive look at what the scholastic intelligence level is of the surface, and then what happens is there's beings like us and the beings in the comments and the beings that are watching my face right now across the earth, right? We are the catalyst of the entire collective consciousness of this planet. When you start walking around and you think in your town or your village you're alone, I'm trying to remind you, you're the only one awake enough to actually change the world. You're the only one awake enough to have a conversation while everyone else around you is asleep. It's something very important that you hold, that light that you hold inside of yourself. And, us star seeds, angelics, the 144, the Azarites, right? The Earth Alliance beings, you're not really told the truth that you're representing the collective consciousness of the entire surface of this world. They're not telling you that. They think, oh, you're just a little different. No, you're probably telepathic, telekinetic, and your ability to breathe, see, and feel empathic, to feel everything around you. You're the perfect temperature gauge for any upper dimensional being that wants to know what is going on the surface in the physical plane of reality right now. They're not telling you that. And this goes beyond any religion that they teach on this planet. This goes beyond anything. This is ancient stuff. These, ascensions and the frequency coming through, not only the universe, but through our galaxy, the cosmos into our galaxy, and that is reflecting off our sun right now. Yeah, you can say we're in a hologram, but I can tell you this, a system update is a system update. You want to call it a solar flash? Go ahead. Another word for that is a system update, a firmware update, not a conscious. So I like to think about like this, light that comes from our sun, or the energy that comes from the cosmos. I like to translate that into a firmware update. What does that do? Well, firmware updates, if you guys are computer people out there, most of you guys are, that updates the hardware inside of your device or inside of your vessel. Firmware update. Now, consciousness is like the software. I am literally walking around in a chemical computer made with different ET's DNA throughout time and space, activating dormant DNA and accessing and interoperating through multiple dimensions simultaneously as I'm sitting here speaking to you right now. And we're all doing this together, if you're aware of it or not. My thing is that some of you guys are very, very special. And Indigo, you are one of these beings. You are very, very special. And when you guys step into your power and you step into your light, you guys shift realities. You guys send shockwaves across the planet and the timelines. We already know that there are very mischievous, naughty beings that are messing with time right now and have been for quite some time, or the Mandela effects never would have happened. We never would have experienced all these Mandela effects. We know that time is being altered. Okay? So that being stated, it's why it's so important right now for everyone to have a high vibe in their bodies. Love you. Stay balanced, stay grounded. Remember, this ascension that you're going through, you might be doing it very privately, but I want you to see the zoomed out view. If you were in your house right now, town, village, and imagine you zoomed out like you're at the height of a helicopter. And then all of a sudden it went from 8K, video footage to almost like infrared energy. And you could see every single living thing in every single house about, half a mile up in the air, and you're looking down at your city. It's very obvious which of you guys are online. It's very obvious how large your energy signatures are. And they can hide this fact from you for as long as you allow them to. But I'm here to tell you there's a great change inbound. And the last thing I'm going to do with my family is not give you guys a heads up. You guys are already feeling this shit. I'm telling you, this stuff that's coming, they might not want the governments to know what's about to happen, or the military industrial complex, or the black Waffen, or the weird, Antarctic Germans, or any of these weirdos. If the Galactic Alliance is showing up, which they have, if that was part of the thing to assist us, I just want you guys to know that your true family is with you and watching. What they're waiting for, though, is you guys to be conscious enough to actually receive and transceive information in the physical. You guys are already doing it in dream time. Give me a thumbs up if you guys have had dreams on starships, at airports. You keep getting the same dream over and over again. You're at an airport. You're not at an airport, ladies and gentlemen. The human brain can only register what it's seen in the physical, or it kicks it into the back of your subconscious, and basically you can't remember it. A lot of you guys are basically on starships at night. If you keep having dreams about being in an airport, you're missing your bag, you're loose for, where's my bag? They do that. They implant that image because you've never been on a starship in the physical plane in this life. You don't know what the interior of a spacecraft really looks like. You don't know what the smell is. You don't know what it sounds like. So what they'll do is they'll put you in dream space at you're in an airport transitioning from one plane to another. I'm just giving this as an example to you because you might go, whoa, I've been having the same dream over and over again. You're trying to say you're not at an airport. I'm like, no, dude, you're probably getting picked up at night and doing real things around the planet and then getting dropped off back in your body and waking up in the morning. So this whole thing is going to switch and it's going to pick up. And Indigo, you know, I wanted you to express your versions because I know this is like your MO. That's why I wanted to do this video on human hybrids. What are your versions? Like, I know we talked about this briefly before the podcast. What are, like, say, your three candidates for what a human hybrid is? One, maybe the ancient DNA is inside of your body, right? The second version may be that you maybe do have ET DNA from a parent or whatnot, or maybe three, you're in the projects. Like, let's go through the stages of the human hybrid program as far as you understand them, and what versions, because people can look in the mirror and go, "Whoa, I'm a cat 2. You know, I thought I was category 1. I'm actually a category 2 hybrid, or I'm actually category 3 hybrid." Does that make sense? Let's try to.
I've never broken down categories of types or particular types.
I just put a ping in my left ear. Why don't we break? I think that someone can pull down.
We could try to break it down.
Let's break down cat 1, cat 2, cat 3 right now for the planet.
Well, I think it would consist on having a dominant percentage of a particular type of alien DNA, right? So, like, most of the hybrids, I would say, that are most ancient on the planet would be the Anunnaki, the whole descent of the Nephilim of the Watchers that happened at Mount Hermon. That was kind of the apex or the origination of it. So on some level, we're all going to be hybridized with these types or these Abrahamic and little Anki lines or this type of stuff to some degree, that this shows up in our ancient DNA records.
So you're saying cat 1, category 1, you have ancient DNA from an Anunnaki, an older, it could be an Anunnaki, it could be some of the founders races. You have dormant DNA in your suit, and it activates naturally as you evolve and ascend, right? And that starts turning on, right? So would you say that's a category 1 then?
Well, I would say everyone has a different percentage of it, but yeah. And it doesn't mean that you are. I mean, it does mean you do have history of that lineage, but it doesn't mean it's a negative thing. Let's just put it this way. It doesn't mean
listen, I want you to say it. I want you to say it.
Look, it's a holographic universe and it's a holographic Earth. And what they did is they implanted holographic implants into us to this is through amnesia. Like, people don't realize they're a part of these programs. So it's like, even if they're having a hybrid child, like, you know, that could be a hybrid child that actually has reptilian DNA that actually has an angelic soul intact. So, it causes internal warfare inside of the being, essentially.
Hey, listen, Nunu gets what I'm going for. Look, Nunu's like 1 and 2. I want to do the categories. Listen, let's just sit here and listen, everyone on Earth, we're going to do this together as a group. Okay, we're going to break down the 3 categories of hybrids. Let me give you an overage. Number 1, you're an ancient Azurite DNA soul. You've had many incarnations on this earth. You have lots of wisdom, and you're naturally evolving. We're going to call that a cat 1. Okay? Cat 2. Cat 2 is that you were, when you got here, like a true star seed, you knew you were different. You knew you didn't belong here. Okay? You had memories of home. And as you grew up, you started to develop your special abilities inside of yourself. And as you grew, those abilities grew stronger. Cat 2. And then cat 3, okay, you're actually a human that was taken into a military program and actually had your DNA spliced with an ET. So how is that a good cat 1, cat 2, cat 3?
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead. If you want to add, go ahead, add something. You're the specialist. Do you want to do a cat 4? You're just an ET pretending to be a human.
You just are. Yep. You're just
cat 4. Look, cat 4 is you just
entirely.
You're just pretending every day.
Right? I don't know if it's simple. I don't know if this can be broken up into classification.
Well, I think it's percentages, love. I think you said it right out the gate.
Yeah.
How much of the percentage of the DNA inside your body? But here's my thing. If we all have dormant DNA that's not activated and it slowly starts turning on, right? We don't know where you might go from a cat 1 all the way to a cat 4. How conscious are you? Because if we all are just visiting here, right? And we're all not from this planet, everyone's leasing, and we're all ETs. Let's just say that, right? So what I'm trying to say is, in the human suit, we're talking about how much of the DNA how much of the dormant DNA do you need to activate? I don't know if you, so let's see if we can pull this down. In a Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4 situation, what do you think the percentage is? Cat 1 is what, 10% dormant DNA? Cat 2 is 20 to 30% DNA. Cat 3 is 40 to 50, 60% DNA. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're kicking up an RPM.
Yeah, and you could say that the strands activate accordingly to that.
Right. And then they're saying
And
kids.
cat 1 would be like 1 through 3. Cat 2 would be, it would be 3 through 6, and then 6 through 9, and 9 through 12.
Are you talking about the DNA strands?
Yeah, within those.
Okay, let's say it again one more time. Cat 1 is how many DNA strands activated? 2?
1
3.
through 3. That's not even like what awakened.
No, I know. 1 through 3, Cat 1. All right, Cat 2 is what? 4 through 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4 through 6.
7 through 9 for the next one.
Okay, Cat 3 is 7 DNA strands to 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cat 4 is what? 12 and above?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 10 and above.
10 and above. All right, so for everyone out there, go ahead and write down your cat. You a Cat 1 hurricane, Cat 2 hurricane, Cat 3 hurricane, or a Cat 4. These are things that, if I was on a starship, they're like, this is the most interesting conversation I've heard in a very long time. What cat are you? What type of hurricane of creator's kid of source energy are you? Go ahead. Cat 2. All right, here we go. Cat 2. What do we got? Cat 4.
Okay, got a lot of Cat 4s.
Yeah, I got some Cat 4. Hey, listen. Put it in there. Listen, you don't have to hide here. It's not even your real name. And Luna Lovegood. She's like, right out the gate, I'm a Cat 4. All right, what we got? Who else is a Cat 4? Melissa. Golden, Cat 4. We got a lot of Cat 4s, dude. Cat 4. How'd you guys categorize yourself? Cat 4. Sean, of course you're a Cat 4, bro. If there was a 5, you'd be a 5. Okay, bro? 4. Elite Savior, look, listen. You can't just throw out 7, even though we love the number, okay? You can't just throw them a Cat 7, okay? We don't even know what that is for sure. And meow. Okay, so good. Okay, of course, Rainwater. We know you're a Cat 4. I mean, listen, you barbecue normal human beings. I've seen it happen right in front of me, okay? And all right, Cat 2, Cat 4. Okay, good. This is an opening conversation because here's the thing. This human hybrid program has been going on for thousands of years, if not much longer than that. This experiment's been going on for a quarter million years is what they're saying. Even when they started making the suits and all this jazz and what we got mixed with. So I just think it's very interesting that as we're all going through these disclosure things together, to always ask yourself, hey, what am I? When I look in the mirror, I wonder what I am. You know what I mean? I wonder how much of my dormant DNA has been activated. I wonder how much of my memory has been reinstalled, or I'm starting to have access to based upon my frequency. Another cool thing, I don't know if it was a wizard that told me this, or one of my higher selves, but they said all of the magics exists in the higher realms. And I go, what do you mean? He's like, the higher the vibration you oscillate at, son, the more access to magic or energy manipulation or manifestation, as you call it, you'll have access to. I was like, oh, so the real magic is above us and then bringing it into the physical. They go, that's the hard part. You guys are naturally instant manifestors in 5D. In 5D, all time is happening simultaneously. Even in 4D, it's kind of like Hogwarts on steroids, mixed with Dark City in Vegas. But in 3D, my thing is that for you guys to remember that all the stuff you guys are doing and the positive things that you guys are doing in Dreamtime and helping one another, it does reflect directly with how the physical plane of existence is rolling out right now. Our job right now is to put certain critical thinking things in your minds and start asking different questions about yourself, why you're here, what your purpose is, and how you can assist yourself and others. So I think we're just crushing. Indigo, what else you got? I mean, now I know we know you're a Cat 4. What do you?
It all very well.
Huh?
You definitely said it all very well, and I think the categories really helped us to define this. But I do think it's very complex, and each person's journey is very unique to their own divine blueprint. And it would be nice to be able to someday, you know how we can get these like genetic tests to figure out like what is our, you know, DNA, like what countries where you came from and what is your ethnicity.
Jesse, you were born a cat 3.
Yeah,
Don't bullshit me. Like Jesse's a cat 5. He's just you know those guys that have to pretend since the moment they got here, like, oh, I'm a human. This is so much fun. Jesse Simmons. Yeah, all you guys, that's my boy. Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
Oh
no, yeah, no, you. I want. So tell me more about the human hybrid program, specifically to the data that you have received and I've seen in your broadcast. What's some more data? So Matt Gaetz is talking about it. Who else is talking about this in mainstream, media about the human hybrid program? Did he say how long this stuff's been going on, or just that he was briefed about it? And if you knew the truth, you'd be a little shocked that these type of people are doing this stuff.
They just said that they were briefed about it. They said that, there's 6 to 12 facilities. There wasn't much more information other than just saying that they're honestly, the feeling I get is that it's a little bit more sinister what's happening behind these closed doors in these military facilities. But I honestly think there's an element of forced breeding, though, that, like we said, it's embedded in the entire collective. And I think on some level, though, it's about healing trauma as well. Especially there's men and women also experience this forced breeder program in many different ways. I mean, for men, it happened through castration. It happened through circumcision. They have King of Terrorism implants, King of Tyranny implants. Implants got placed into their eyes, into their hearts, things that block their ability to hear. So I think that's interesting that you brought up the whole hearing test. Men and women have different markings within them of how they've carried this. And, with women, they have like etheric chastity belts. They have the forced breeder lunar chains that chain their reproduction to the moon. And this is one of the ways that they've used wormhole systems to bring in incarnate beings, to bring them the refugee life through into this planet. And the fleur-de-lis implants, it's an overlay that actually goes into the uterus itself that creates bondage, on the reproductive system. So it's just been a lot of heart-womb disconnection that's so profound. So I think a lot of people actually have to heal from these things when they find out about it. Because for a lot of people, it can come with trauma. Like to have a hybrid child, that's a traumatic thing. That's that's if they're not carrying the angelic human original DNA, if the hybrid child isn't carrying that and they're carrying more of the reptilian body, what happens is it creates warfare within the family unit. And then a lot of like turning against like, the nuclear dynamic, essentially. It
sounds like polarity 101 is what it sounds like. Even you describing that, it seems like even all of us right now, the good side and the bad side, are we really just talking about two families with two different DNA chains? I don't know if you guys have seen that, the blueprint of Yeshua. I don't know if you've seen that chart where he has like, there's also like, high level Lyran and Syrian DNA, but there's also dragon DNA at the very tippity top. There's a lot of like, I think Yeshua was a hybrid. He was an upper dimensional being. Another thing too that people need to realize too, and I was talking to my boy Yishi in Bhutan. I'll tell you guys a little story. Yishi in Bhutan. I went to Bhutan and I was chilling. I gridded, you like this, I gridded Eagle's Nest, where, I think the second coming of Buddha hung out when he jacked the emperor of China's, one of his wives. And just like bounced, right? And had a whole rainbow body situation up there. But the one thing that was really important was that, goodness gracious, there's so much data running through my head. The fundamental function of Buddha, the fundamental function of Yeshua, and the fundamental function of a lot of these religious characters for you. I have to remind everyone on earth that these beings have older brothers, older sisters, and higher selves. Buddha has a higher self. People like to think about the people or the version that show up in the physical as the head of the oversoul, let's just say. What I can tell you personally is that what I've interacted with, especially when I was in Bhutan and I was in India, right, was that Buddha in his multiple incarnations had higher selves, just like you have higher selves. Yeshua has higher selves as well. So when you guys are meditating and thinking about things, all my fellow little ascended masters in training, they went through the same thing you're going through right now. And it's not to think that you're separate from Christed beings. You are Christed beings, remembering that you're Christed beings. And I remember when I told Yishi that in Bhutan, I said, hey, it's not just to ask Buddha, but why don't you ask, Buddha's bloodline? Ask Buddha's older brother, or ask his father, or ask his mother, or ask his sister, right? For assistance as well. And it kind of blew the dude's mind. He was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, dude, just like you in the physical, if you were in the physical, ladies and gents, and you were a divine upper dimensional being, do you have a family? How did you get here? Do you have any siblings? Got any brothers or sisters? You got a mom? You got a dad? You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of things that we kind of throw off because we don't want to process the fact, or we put beings up on pedestals because they're awesome, mind you. But to unlock that divinity inside of yourself is much harder to do than giving it all to someone else. Mm-hmm. It's easy to give someone else all your problems and all your trauma and all your things, right? It's very difficult to look yourself in the mirror and go, you can always ask for help, mind you. But what I'm trying to say is it's different when you fix yourself from the inside out. Then they go, oh, you've done the walk. You did the walkabout. You did the 40 days and 40 nights. You did the 7 years in front of the Bodhi tree. Got it. I'm like, it's a different level of responsibility. And I just want you guys to know that each and every one of you guys is completely capable of becoming, the highest version of yourself. And I just want to remind you guys of that. So I just think that it's very important to emulate Christed beings like Buddha, Yeshua, Krishna, love him, Vish, love you, Shiva, love you, Brahma.
And also remember there's also, a feminine Christed.
Kuan Yin.
Divine Sophia.
Mary, Sophia. Yeah. Sophia's, first of all, Sophia gives the best hugs in the universe. I've gotten in trouble for saying that's true. Sophia gives the best hugs in the universe. I'm going to go on record for saying that. Absolutely. And if you guys are into the Egyptian flavor, Maat, it's M-A-A-T, and I can't say it normally. I can't go Maat because when you say it, it's almost like when you're yelling mom. Do you guys know the proper way to say Maat? It's like yelling mom. Like imagine you're in a grocery store and mom's in the vegetable aisle and you're over here in the bread aisle and you're like, mom, but you yell Maat, M-A-A-T. It's a very, the human or even English vernacular, there's no real power in it. That was kind of written out for a reason. But some of the old Egyptian words, man, you say those words specifically at the proper volume with the proper energy, certain words only activate at a certain volume or energy output. You can't say them all lower caps, whisper it. It is an explosion of manifestation and energy. So just to give you guys a heads up on that when you guys are breaking down your own syntax, as you guys are talking to your higher selves. But I just want you guys to be reminded how beautiful and awesome you guys are. And obviously, Christed beings are where it's at. That's just my end thing. And it doesn't matter what religion you're in, Christed beings are where it's at. And to try to be as, emulate whatever version that is, vocabulary.
Well, I think that's the core of the Guardian mission. I mean, it speaks to our end devotion to the Christ Sophia. And they're carrying the original flame codes, the Elion flame and the Alacia flames, like these actual original orders and like high angelic bloodlines, hybridization, because we're hybridized with the angelic spirit DNA as well. And I think that's the core foundation for those that are able to actually serve as guardians and grid keepers and gatekeepers of this planet. Like you have to have that intact. It has to be rehabilitated. I think that's the overall mission on the planet. That's the planetary ascension process.
Tell them a little bit about what your vision is for the next 900 days. Obviously, you're coming to Rise of the Guardians. You're going to be on the Divine Feminine panel. You're going to be there with your new book. You want to talk to them a little bit about what you got coming out?
I got it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my new book, The Guardian Alliance Gridwork and New Earth Prophecy. This is volume 1. I have a volume 2 that's still going to be coming out. I'm hoping to have it available by the first week of May, so maybe I'll have it by the conference. But in this volume, basically, we're covering all planetary architecture, all grid work protocols, everything, who the Guardian Alliance is, and what their mission is here, and how we are all connected to this, and cover Stargate mechanics, Starfort mechanics, cover the Guardian planet Venus and everything that she's brought to this planet, and her history going back to the original Earth-Venus arc. I have a lot of channeled transmissions in here of the Magdalene bloodlines and what their role is, the divine Christ Sophia, what their role is on the earth right now. And there's so much in here, I can't even really like define it all, but it's very extensive. Every single page is like an activation in itself. And I can't wait to share this at the conference. I can't wait to
Show
get
the size of that book. I mean, that's a download. Let's that thing looks huge.
This is 570 pages.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's a huge book.
Yeah, and I sent you one as well, so you should.
I'm so excited. So for all you guys coming, Indigo will be in her booth signing her book, correct? You sign it?
I will. I brought some. I'm going to be bringing some copies. All the force breeder implants are in the book, so you can figure out, do I carry these? Do I need a clearing? Do I need to clear this? And I give clearing protocols in the book. The divine masculine implant systems, here.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have a dong in my book. I know it's so crazy, but I had to put it all in there.
Whoa! Listen, this is PG-13. You can't be flashing cartoon dongs on this. No, I'm just kidding.
There's implants in the reproductive organs, so we have to define that.
Did you draw those?
I did. I know it does look like it, right? Like
no, listen. I'm making jokes. Listen, we're switching to comedy. You can have it. Listen, it's anatomically correct, is I think how they say that properly. It's anatomically correct. All right.
Yeah, I did hand draw them originally, though. That's so funny.
Listen, you guys out there, get your books. You know what I mean? All right, all you people out there.
Talk about Atlantis being the original Atlantean star fort prototype. That star fort civilization began in Atlantis, and actually was brought here by the Lyrans, by the Myrnas and the Lyran system from Vega and Avion. They never left in the fall. They actually folded themselves into time into like plasma units, and they actually held the original Lyran records. And so they brought and seeded some of that here with the Star Force civilization technology. Another one of the locations was the Eye of Mauritania, which is another Star Fort memory node.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's packed. Like there's so much galactic history in this. You definitely have some fun going through it all. And I have a lot of transmissions too that I channeled. That's how I had contact with the Myrnas, had contact with the Orion system.
So people are going to ask, where do I get a book right now? Because like me, I don't have much patience. I put your website, IndigoAngel222.com, right?
Yep, that's correct. You can find it there. There's a link on the homepage.
Mm-hmm. And it's in the description. I'm going to type it right now in the comments just so people can find it. So it's IndigoAngel222.com.
Yep. And if you guys order a book and bring it to the conference, so I can sign it, that's probably best, just because I can only bring so many myself, just because, this is like a 5-pound book.
That's a large book.
There's only so many I can bring, So yeah, I definitely recommend ordering now so you can get it if you're coming.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I think we crushed it. Was there anything else you'd like to say? I'm so excited to see all you guys at Rise of the Guardians, May 8th through the 10th. If you guys are still on the fence with coming, check out teamlightstore.com for your tickets and use the coupon code FLYER, FLYER. And Indigo's going to be there. I did an interview with Tyler. He's going to be there. Lily Nova. The cast of this and crew of this amazing experience is just growing exponentially. So I'm really excited to see all you guys, and obviously to come to the dance party. And I'll have some new music for us to dance to as well.
Yeah, it's so amazing. You have a really good eye for all the people that you're bringing together. So it's
the Avengers. Look at the list.
Uh-huh.
You're like, hey, what's going on here? I'm like, listen, get ready. Yeah, here at Team Light, we take, helping our friends and family. We're very passionate about it. And I just want to create a nice, safe space for us to get together and have a beautiful time. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So Indigo, where can they find you? Is that just IndigoAngel222? Where else on your social platforms?
Well, we're streaming on my channel as well. So you can find me on YouTube at IndigoAngel. It's just all one word. You can find me at learn.indigoangel222.com. I do have an education platform as well where I teach about grid work and, all kinds of things, implant and seal removal. And yeah, you can find me on Facebook, X, Instagram. So I'm on all the social media platforms.
And
And I
awesome.
want to tell you, so with this rise of the Instadona, I think that the Ruby gem body is activating there. You guys carry the Ruby codes and the ley lines.
Yes.
And I think it's creating a global wave of Ruby activations across the grid. I think there's several other locations that carry this Ruby activation as well. And we're passing.
I know that there are people coming, and my guides have told me this, that are unaware of the energy signature and the heritage that they actually truly are and carry, and that when we're all together, a lot of people are going to get activated. And really, for me, what I want to do for everyone out there across Earth, my truth is that I want to jump all of you guys into the highest timeline in this trifurcation, right? Right now, we're in the bottom. There's three, it's not a bifurcation, it's a trifurcation, right? So 3 possible timelines. I'm trying to jump everyone into the highest timeline. I don't want to be in the middle timeline, and I definitely do not want to be in the bottom timeline. Our job right now is, I feel, get some people into the middle timeline and then get ready to jump into the highest. And I feel that the more the merrier in the highest timeline. I feel that a lot of us have gone through enough suffering and bullshit on this planet, being lied to and poisoned and all that jazz. And obviously about who we truly are and the true spark that we carry in us and our true soul. And I feel that all of us deserve to walk in the highest destiny. And that's what I wish for every single one of you across this earth. And that's all I'd like to say. So
I love it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, totally received.
Yeah, 100, thank you. Well, you guys, I love you. You guys have a blessed week, and I'll see you guys for morning coffee on Saturday. All right, till next time. Peace.
It might come back to you. Ooh, I know no doubt about it.
Lights are come on in the
Kundalini of love. Kundalini of love.
coming on. Lights are come on in the
Kundalini of love.
get so
Of this love.
That's the way I navigate. Hard such, you got such a conquerors and go prasad. Hard such, you got such a conquerors and go prasad. Thunder shaking walls, but love no fall. Firm foundation, baby, stand through it all. We walk through the fire process, every pain. You're smiling on my mind, keep calling me name. Two hearts intertwined, no matter the weather. True love got power when we choose stay together. Grabbing the keys, but my soul scream wait. You they coming on me chaos, the reason me stay. Memories flooding, dancing in the rain. Late nights laughing, the resin of the pain. Your beauty, your fire, the way we align. Real love like this.
When I walk away this time, stay together.
Soul tied forever.
Hold tight forever. Kundalini of love. I'll bet you any amount of money, and I'll come back to you. I love no doubt about it.
Lights are come on in there.
Kundalini of love.
Coming on, coming on,
Kundalini of love.
coming on. Lights are come on in there.
Kundalini of love.
Though this time I break, thunder in the air. Love with firm foundation, never gonna fall.